need a little more space. How's that? Yeah, that's better. 4 is less than or equal to 2x plus 2, which is less than or equal to 10. Okay? Two sides of the equation. Let's start with 4 is less than or equal to 2x plus 2. I will subtract 2 from both sides of the equation, leaving me with 2 is less than or equal to 2x. Dividing both sides by 2, I end up with 1 is less than or equal to x. That side of the equation is completed. We will then go to the right side of the equation, and we will solve. 2x plus 2 is less than or equal to 10. In this case, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides of the equation, leaving me with 2x is less than or equal to 8. Dividing both sides by 2, leaving me with x is less than or equal to 4. So those are the two numbers that we need to know about, along with their inequality signs. When we graph that, 1, I will look for the number 1. I will look for the number 4. If it's confusing for you to have the x on the right side, and it's confusing for you to state it as 1 is less than or equal to x, understand with inequalities, when it's stated or written that 1 is less than or equal to x, the reverse can be stated simply by reading, instead of left to right, read right to left, which means x is greater than or equal to 1. And that will help with your bracketing up here. So x is greater than or equal to 1. X is less than or equal to 4. Interval notation, we have a bracket, we have a 1, we have a 4, we have a bracket, and we are done. Number 70. Okay, so we've successfully completed 2 of those problems, which I think were a little confusing for some of us. 71. Let's find 71. Here is 71. Very similar problem, only with some negatives in there. Minus 5 less than or equal to 4 minus 3x less than or equal to 2. Solve the left side. We will rewrite it as minus 5 is less than or equal to 4 minus 3x. Let's keep the negative x over here. Let's pull the 4 over here by subtracting 4 from both sides. It leaves us with a minus 9 is less than or equal to a minus 3x. Okay, I am now going to divide both sides by minus 3. Goes back to what we said earlier when it comes to inequalities. When you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative, you flip the sign. So instead of this reading less than or equal to, let's flip the sign right now. Greater than equal to, negative 9 over negative 3 is a positive 3, and that's a positive x. And we end up with 3 is greater than or equal to x for the left side of this equation. Moving over to the right side, 4 minus 3x is less than or equal to 2. Now, if you think I'm going too fast, that's hopefully I'm not, but if I am, that's the beauty of you watching this on YouTube. You certainly could just scrub back and repeat it and pull back and slow it down. So, you know, you can go as fast or as slow as you'd like. So here we go over here. I'm going to move the 4 to the right side by subtracting 4 from both sides, which leaves me with a minus 3x is less than or equal to a positive minus 2. 2 and minus 4.
Jesse Fisher, please report to the front entrance. Thank you.
That was awesome. That's actually looking for my son. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. So here we go. Now I want to divide both sides by negative 3, which will leave me with x is, flip the sign, greater than equal to 2/3. there are our two numbers of critical importance that will allow us to graph the solution. We have a 0, we're looking for a 3, and we're looking for 2/3, we'll call that 2/3. So, 3 is greater than or equal to x, which is the same as saying x is less than or equal to 3. That'll be heading in that direction. X is greater than or equal to 2/3. Then we have the double brackets again. We will write that as bracket 2/3, comma, 3, close bracket. That is number 71. Okay, we're almost there. There's number 72, but I'm going to take a little break. Time for a well-deserved cup of coffee. See you in a few. We'll do number 72, which reads, -3 is less than or equal to 3 minus 2x, which is less than or equal to 9. Left-hand side, we will write -3 is less than or equal to 3 minus 2x. We'll move the 3 from the right to the left by subtracting both sides by 3, leaving us with -6 is less than or equal to a -2x. Multiply both sides, or divide both sides rather, by a -2. When you divide or multiply by a negative, flip the sign, flip the inequality. So we'll have greater than or equal to, we will have 3 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, we will leave that up. We will then solve the right-hand side of the equation, which says 3 minus 2x is less than or equal to 9. I will subtract 3 from both sides of the equation, which will give me -2x is less than or equal to 6. I have a -2x, which I want to make a positive x. I will divide that by -2. I will also divide 6 by -2. I will then flip the inequality from a less than or equal to a greater than or equal to. That will leave me with x is greater than or equal to -3. Yep, that's right. Just checking my own work. When we write that, checking your own work is always a good thing. Having someone else check your work is a good thing also. Our number line. We are looking for 3 and -3. There's my 3, there's my -3, there's my bracket, there's my bracket. Less than or equal to, we'll write that as bracket -3, comma, 3, bracket. Done. Number 72 is all set. Okay? Okay, here we have number 73, which is -3 is less than 2x minus 1/4, which is less than 0. Again, simple. Use your steps. Do not be intimidated by fractions, by more than one inequality. We just take one step at a time. First thing we will do is solve the left-hand side. -3 is less than 2x minus 1/4. Let's get rid of that denominator. We multiply by 4. We multiply both sides by 4, ending up with a -12 is less than, as the 4's cancel, 2x minus 1, making it a very simple problem to solve. We will take the +1 there, +1 there, leaving us with a -11 is less than 2x. And I will divide both sides by 2, which will leave me with negative 11 over 2 is less than x. Okay, so that's the first piece. Pretty simple. Let's look at the right-hand side, and we have 2, let me move it up here a little. I think I'd like to have an eraser built right into the heel of my hand there. 2x minus 1 divided by 4 is less than 0. Let's multiply both sides by 4. That ought to be a tough one, huh? 4's cancel, leaving us with 2x minus 1. 0 times 4, please tell me that you know it is 0. We will add 1 to both sides of the equation, leaving us with 2x is less than 1, dividing both sides by 2, leaving us with x is less than 1/2. We will then draw our number line. There's 0. I'm looking for 1/2. We'll call that 1/2 there. 11/2 is a little over 5. We'll stick that, minus 11/2, sorry. We'll stick that down there. This is not to scale, obviously, but for our purposes, close enough. X is less than 1/2, so there's 1/2. It's not equal to, less than, going in a negative direction. X is greater than 11 over 2, but not equal to, and we'll go there. And that's where that fits, right there. So we have negative, when we interval notation that, parenthesis, minus 11 over 2, comma, 1/2, parenthesis. 74. Which says 0 is less than 3x plus 2 over 2 less than, which is less than 4. Left-hand side of the equation, 0 is less than 3x plus 2 over 2. Let's get rid of the denominator by multiplying both sides by 2. Leaving us with 2 times 0 is 0, is less than, oops, sorry, the 2's cancel, 3x plus 2. Let's subtract 2 from both sides, leaving us with minus 2 is less than 3x. We'll then divide both sides by 3, leaving us with negative 2/3 is less than x. Okay? That's the left side. We now have the right side, which restated is 3x plus 2 over 2 is less than 4. To get rid of the 2, we will multiply by 2. Cancel. 3x plus 2 is less than 8. Subtract 2 from both sides, leaving us with 3x is less than 6. Divide both sides by 3, leaving us with x is less than 2. So we have, on our number line, on our line graph, we draw our line. We are looking, well, here's my 0. We'll call that minus 2/3. We'll call that 2. So x is less than 2. Parenthesis, heading in the negative direction, but x is greater than a minus 2/3. There we go. When we put that into interval notation, parenthesis, minus 2/3, comma, 2, parenthesis. And last, but certainly not least, number 75. Now, I know you want me to make this one last a long time because, okay, we are on our last problem for tonight, number 75. I don't want you to get too emotional about this. I will have to say goodbye after this, but if you miss me, just rewind the tape, okay? So, this is written as 1 is less than 1 minus 1/2 x, which is less than 4. We'll work the left side. 1 is less than 1 minus 1/2 x. Let's take this 1, get it to the other side, so we're subtracting 1 from both sides, leaving us with 0 is less than a minus 1/2 x. We will now multiply both sides by a -2, which will leave us with 0 is, we're multiplying by a negative, greater than, the 2's will cancel, that becomes a positive x. 0 is greater than x. Another way of saying that is x is greater than 0. Let's take the right side of the equation. Minus 1/2 x is less than 4. 1 minus 1/2 x is less than 4. Let's take this 1, subtract 1 from both sides of the equation. Minus 1/2 x is less than 3. Let's multiply by a -2. We'll be flipping the sign because we're multiplying. We'll be flipping the inequality because we're multiplying by a negative. That gives us x is greater than -6. So we have 0 is greater than x and x is greater than -6. We'll draw our last graph on our number line. There's 0, saying x is less than 0, so we're going to go that way. And x is greater than -6, so there's a -6. And we'll write that out as -6, parenthesis, -6, comma, 0, parenthesis, done. So hopefully this has been of some help, a good review of what we did in this past week's class, and this should answer any questions. If you're still confused, you have my email address. Please email me, and I will be putting more of these up over the next couple days. So be safe and keep on going with your math. It will pay off eventually. All right, bye folks.